He was very desperate, he was very dangerous, and that is very alarming to both law enforcement and the community, because when you fire at law enforcement officers, that shows that you really have no regard for anyone around you.
20 years, that's how long it's been since multiple officers have been shot in one day in Spokane County. And tonight, several law enforcement agencies are now investigating a shooting that left 2 Spokane County Sheriff's deputies wounded. Good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Mike Gonzalez. It's been a very busy night for law enforcement across Spokane County, and the investigation is only getting started. We have KXLY4 team coverage of that shooting tonight. Luna tells us how the search for the suspect ended and how it put some people in some real danger on the roads. Kylee Cruz is out live tonight with the latest on the search for more suspects near Princeton and North Spokane. But first, let's go to Jeff Humphrey, who shows us how this all started.
Well, it started as a routine traffic stop of a driver headed southbound here on the Newport Highway, but something suspicious must have caught that deputy's eye because he called for backup before finally pulling over the SUV here on Elm just across from the Target store.
The suspect fired shots at the deputies. There was an officer down call. The suspect fled, went several blocks away to the west.
It appears that those deputies were able to return gunfire because when the suspect's getaway car was found abandoned here at Division and Graves, it was riddled with bullet holes.
He was very desperate, he was very dangerous, and that is very alarming to both law enforcement and the community, because when you fire at law enforcement officers, that shows that you really have no regard for anyone around you.
Thinking the suspect had fled on foot, police brought in several patrol dogs hoping to track him to his hiding spot.
So the canine units are brought in. They have the excellent sense of smell, and we tried to utilize them to perhaps follow a suspect track.
The gunman, later identified as Charlie Wallace, would have been no match for the now more heavily armed officers escorting the canine. But Wallace had already left the area and headed north, and that's where KXLY4's Luna picks up the story.
Charlie Wallace would ultimately end up here against this guardrail near West Crawford Street and Highway 395. On his way there, he shot at officers who then spiked his tires.
We were getting closed up and just moving the signs in.
Lori Musgrave owns the Farmers Market and Bakery on West Crawford, several blocks east of where Wallace crashed.
And then you could hear the officers in the helicopters overhead.
She stepped outside just in time to see Wallace drive by.
Flying just absolutely down the road.
Law enforcement close on his bumper.
Hand out of the car, gun waving outside.
Shredded tire litters the road. Several witnesses say they also saw the suspect holding a gun. They're not sure what type, but they knew that it was a weapon. He continued west on Crawford, where several blocks down he ran into the guardrail.
Front bumper was off, and I just told my staff, run.
Wrecked against the rail, deputies set up a perimeter around the hijacked Honda Accord.
You could see the smoke coming from the vehicle.
But this pursuit wouldn't end quietly.
No, I heard the pop.
That pop was the sound of Charlie Wallace shooting himself in the head. An afternoon spent trying to kill 2 officers, Wallace ultimately only succeeded in killing himself. In Deer Park, Luna, KXLY4 HD News.
Aaron, thanks for that report. Both deputies who were shot today are now in stable condition. Investigators say both of the deputies suffered at least 1 gunshot wound during that violent traffic stop. One officer required surgery to repair damage from the slug that hit him. The other deputy was treated in the emergency room. Today's shooting led police to many locations around the city searching for any possible suspects. KXLY4's Kylee Cruz is live at one of those scenes near Alcon and Price in North Spokane. Kylee, what's the latest there?
And good evening, Mike. The Sheriff's Department right now behind me now searching the home. I'm going to go ahead and take a step out of the way. As you can see, now they told me that they got consent from the homeowner. Now the homeowner, I'm not sure who that is, but 2 people who are now in major crimes, who are speaking with major crimes, lived at this home. We believe that they have recovered just in the last bit since they have been searching this home some stolen property and belongings. Now the police department telling us that right now they can't release much about what happened here. here since this is part of an ongoing investigation. But here's what limited information we now know. 4 people were questioned in this area earlier today by police. Now, 2 of them have been released. The other 2, like I mentioned, are now downtown where they're going through further questioning by major crimes detectives. Now, they have not been arrested, and we don't know now if any of these people are connected at all to the officer shooting earlier today. We are waiting, obviously, on getting more information as it becomes available. And earlier today also, we were in the 900 block of East Princeton, where hundreds of people watched as the SWAT team showed up to this scene at this home. Now, police had gotten a tip that a person possibly connected to the shooting may have been hiding in this house or an RV. Now, both were searched. It ended up that no one was inside either place. Now, neighbors say that a couple had been renting the home since last fall, and just last month there was a home invasion there. Police say 2 men entered the home with guns during that invasion, and the homeowner was shot in the leg. Now, that one neighbor we spoke to says there have been problems with the home and the renters before. Let's hear what he has to say.
Oh, a lot of different cars come up in front and come and leave, so I don't know what's going on. I can surmise, but I can't for say because I don't know for sure. But I don't like what I see, but there's a lot I can do about it. As long as it's owned by somebody else. If it was owned by me, they wouldn't be there.
Department also telling me earlier today that they are in the process of writing up a search warrant for that home on East Princeton. Now, they were able to clear it for suspects earlier today, but didn't have any power to collect evidence earlier. Now, still here out. As you can see, it's a very active search. It appears that a tow truck is here. Not exactly sure what they are towing away. It appears to be a vehicle. We, of course, will continue to follow this story. Be sure to tune into Good Morning Northwest for the latest. As of now, all we know here, police wrapping up their search in the home behind me. The homeowner did give consent. 2 people that live inside the home behind me, we are told, are now in further questioning, and in major crimes control. Reporting live tonight in North Spokane, Kylee Cruz, KXLY4 HD News.
Kylie, thanks so much. Police also searched a home they believe was related to the shooting in North Spokane. That search happened on the 5900 block of A Street. Police say they were searching for 2 suspects at the home they thought could have held 2 additional suspects. Officers went into the house and found no one there. You can count on KXLY4 to follow this story very closely. You can check for updates anytime on our social media outlets and KXLY News Radio 920.